Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and I'm back with another video finally. If I sound a little stopped up or stuffy, that is because it is allergy season and my allergies have been trying to kill me all day. Now, aside from that, today I want to come on and show you how to make some pants for The Sims 4. So, I guess I'll just jump right in. I won't even do that long of an introduction. I want these introductions to get shorter and shorter. So, first thing that you're going to need whenever you're making anything in The Sims 4, you're going to need Sims 4 Studio. I will leave the link in the description to all of these things. But you're going to need the Sims 4 Studio, and this is what that looks like. You're going to need Marvelous Designer, and this is what that looks like. You're going to need Blender, most definitely, and I use Blender 2.79 for my main Blender. Sometimes I use Blender 2.8 when it comes to texturing certain clothes and things like that. And then we have to have Blender 2.70 to transfer weights. And I will show you how to do all of that, of course. But you're going to need at least Blender 2.79 and Blender 2.70. So Blender 2.79 and Blender 2.70 is what you'll need. You'll need some sort of 2D editing software, and I have 3. One is GIMP, which is my favorite. There's Paint.net, which I use for different things as well. And then I use Photoshop as well, mainly for bump maps or normal maps. And I'll show you how to make that too. And I'll probably do a separate video for that anyways. So those are the things that you're going to need in order to make Sims clothes. You can look up some inspiration online for what you want to make, but these are just going to be some very simple pants. So if you don't know how to make anything in The Sims 4, this is going to be the tutorial for you. I'm going to start from scratch, showing you every little detail. And also, I'm going to, just make something simple. I'm not making anything too drastic. If you just need this video because you're stuck at some point, but you already know the basics, then cool, that's good too. But this video is just going to be showing you how to make basic pants in The Sims 4. And in the next part, we'll be moving into Marvelous Designer. Okay guys, so we are in Marvelous Designer, and I'll actually go ahead and delete that because when you first open Marvelous Designer 9, this is what it's going to look like. And I have Marvelous Designer 9 in the description box. I will leave a video showing you how to download Marvelous Designer the not so legit way, and I will also leave a link to the Marvelous Designer website where you can actually download it as legit as possible, which is straight through their website, monthly subscription, or just buying it outright. Either way, you're going to need Marvelous Designer, or at least that's the program that I use in order to make my Sims clothes. So when you first get a Marvelous Designer, one of the first most annoying things you will notice is that our scrolly part is backwards. And I've gone over this in my previous videos, but just in case you have not seen those, or you honestly are confused, this is your first time and you don't know what's going on, that's fine. Go ahead and you'll notice rather that the middle scrolly is backwards. So meaning when you scroll in, it moves out. When you scroll out, it's scrolling in. If you want to change that, we're going to go up here to settings, user settings, view controls, over here where it says direction, forward, close. Now we need an avatar in here so that we can actually put clothes on it. We're going to go to file, add, avatar. Today we're making pants for a female. Double click that. Now I will leave the link in the description of where to download these avatars too if you do not already have them. And like I said, if this is your absolute first time and you are genuinely confused or you genuinely just want to just start from scratch with making CC. Anyways, we have our sim in here now, what I always call a prototype sim, or just our sim avatar, or just the model, whatever you want to call it. The first thing we're going to need to do when we're creating these pants, this is just a simple way. Like I said, this is a very simple how-to video. If you've never made pants before, you're going to go over here to rectangle. Usually when you start out, it'll be on polygon. So when you go up here to the top, this part right here, you're going to long press it until you see rectangle pop up. There's also ellipse and polygon. Right now we just need rectangle. So click rectangle. And about the length of our Sim's leg here, just kind of start here. Go from here to about here. There. Now, next thing that we need to do is go ahead and add some points on this. So we're going to go right here to where it says add point, the one with the plus sign. There's a point here. We're going to add a point here and here. Or actually, if we want to go back and we've messed up, we can press Control and Z on our keyboard. So we want one here, and then I think we want one here. We can move these around later. Anyways, we need 2 points. Let's move that down. And we grabbed this right here at the top, this edit pattern tool. If you hover over it long enough, it'll show you. So the edit pattern tool, that'll let you move the different lines and points, with like I just did. So if I go back, I move this down here. Now we're gonna move this over. We just need it to be moved over. There. Now we have the first part of our pants, guys. Now we're gonna go over here to the transform pattern. We're going to left click, right click, and we're going to put, let's see, do we want to do symmetric pattern with sewing? I think we do. Let's do that first. And then paste it on the other side. Now, we have the front part of our pants, but of course pants require a back too. Go ahead and click in the 3D view, left click, and to rotate, we're just using our right scrolly in the 3D view, our right scrolly, and click on it. This gizmo will appear. We can use these arrows, do all this and that. Anyway, we don't need the gizmo just yet, or I guess we could just go ahead and move it a little closer. Anyway, we need to copy. So copy, I like to turn it this way, paste, and put it here. Now we need to do this, and I guess we can bring it up a little bit too. Anyway, now shift click these both together again, and what we will do is right click and click flip horizontally. Now what that's going to do is flip the normals, which means, and then we can move this over here anyway, which means that the outside is on the outside and the inside is on the inside. That's basically what exactly that means. Now, we have the basics for pants already here, guys. But there is something that we're going to need to do if we want to sew this together, because if we simulate, they're going to fall straight down because they're not sewed. So, I think we turned on symmetric pattern with editing, so this should be easy. We're going to go up here to this sewing machine, and if you're in Marvelous Designer 9, you will be able to sew here as well as here. If you're in, I believe, 9 or older, or 8 or older, one or the other, you will not be able to sew over here. You'll just be able to sew here. But I like Marvelous Designer 9 because I can sew in the 3D and the 2D viewport. So let's go ahead over here, and let's just begin left clicking here, left clicking here. And great, since we turned on symmetric pattern, what we do over here happens over here. And then of course we need to click here and here, and then here is already done. We need to click here and here, here and here, and then we need to go over to the back and do the same thing. Now that we have this sewed together, we can go ahead and press simulate, and we have pants. We have pants, y'all. I'm not really feeling that waist being so dropped. So you may say, this looks horrible, Johnny. What are you talking about? We have pants, but look at how they look. We can fix that. Trust me, by the end of this Marvelous Designer portion of this video, these pants will look a lot more presentable. Anyways, let's go ahead, go over here. If we want to pick the waist up, we want to pick, or not the waist, the crotch. I keep saying the waist. Well, we can pick up the waist and the crotch. Anyway, the crotch, let's start with that. We don't like that. Fine. Go over here to the edit pattern tool. Click this point, and since symmetric editing is on, I kind of want these lined up a little better. That's okay. Since symmetric editing is on, what you do here will happen here. So we can pick that up and just kind of hit that right there. We can come over here and do the same thing. There. Let's go ahead and simulate. There we go. See, the waist is fixed. Now, we can fix this as well. There's a few things we need to do. We can go ahead and bring this up. See what that does. This is the back part of the pants. And what I'm going to go ahead and do. Shift and move it closer. So there we go. Now, anyways, I brought it up in the back. Let's see what that looks like. Like that. Okay, now that looks crazy. So let's bring that up. Click this point. Let's bring it up some. But it's so big. So what do we need to do? We need to bring this in. Let's bring this in. Let's bring this in a little. Let's simulate. That's better. Look at that. Look at us. Y'all, we done made some pants. That looks a lot better. Now, you may be wondering, what is all this business here? A few ways we can fix that. Once you simulate this pointer or the cursor will turn into a grab hand in the 3D viewport. You can try to grab the holes out. If that's not working out, there's one thing you can try as well. And that's lowering the particle distance. Now, as I always say with particle distance, the lower your number of particle distance, the higher poly your mesh. So if we want to do that, we're going to pick this, click and drag, go over here to property editor. And if your property editor, you're like, where is it? I don't see it. It's over here. Click that. Property editor, simulation properties, particle distance. Go ahead and press. I usually do 16. And before I make that change, actually, let's keep it at 20. So you can see the difference. Go right here, go right there. You see what that looks like. Go over here, press 16, enter. And you see there's more, well, they're triangles now, but soon we'll turn them into polygons. But you see that, how that happened. Let's go ahead and go back into the regular view, the textured surface. And let's simulate. And most of the holes are gone. Still have a few, and there's a few different ways we can fix that. We can try to make the pants bigger, or we can go over here. And this is how we turn these from triangles to polygons. Let's go back there. Go all the way down. Miscellaneous, remesh. Click that. And there we go. That fixes the fit. Usually that fixes it. Changing the particle distance and then remeshing usually always fixes it. Let's go back into the textured view. And we have smooth pants. Now, let's go ahead and change the color. How to do that? Go over here with this, click and drag all of it, select it all, go over here to fabric, click fabric. You'll see the property editor change. You can go over here and change the color. Why do I always change the color to pink? I don't know. Anyways, you can also change your avatar. You can click on your avatar, different parts of your avatar. Go to color. Well, she just played this, y'all. Anyways, click individually on the parts of your avatar. And then let's change her to a realistic color. That's fine. Click it again. Over here. Click that. And there. Now your avatar has been changed. Well, hold on. We want that fixed too. There. Now, Now, one thing I will always suggest to you, no matter what program you are in, is save as you go, please. Let's click Save Project. What are we going to name this? Johnny Pants. We're going to undo the caps lock, and we're going to try again. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. Johnny Pants. Oh. No, these aren't even supposed to be Johnny Pants. Johnny Pants. Let's do Johnny Pants too, since I already apparently have some Johnny Pants here. Anyways, these are our pants. Now, we can basically be done right here. I actually kind of like these. They're simple, but I like that V that they have there. So anyways, we have our pants basically finished. There's one other thing I could show you how to do, and that's how to make it like a seam line right here. Like right here, there's going to be a seam line. Let me just show you how to do that. Click this right here, this 3-pointed triangle with the little dots, edit pattern. Click here. We have symmetric editing on. That's good. Go ahead right click. Go ahead and click offset as internal line. This is in millimeters. We don't want nothing too major. Let's do 15 millimeters, and let's just press OK. And do you see that? Now, what do we want to do with that? Go ahead and click on the internal line, right click, cut and sew. Go ahead and press simulate, and there you go. Now you have a line. Do we care about it being in the back? I kind of like that it's not in the back. Anyway, that's how we do that. If we want to add like kind of like a cuff on the bottom or like that same type of deal, again, right click, and I think I want that to go all the way around, so we're going to click that, and we're going to click that. Go ahead and offset is internal line. We're going to click 15 again. We're going to click OK. Let's do cut and sew again. Let's wait for that to simulate. There we go. And then, well, let's wait for it. Do it. And then let's press simulate. And y'all, we have little cuffs at the bottom of our pants. Do I want the cuff to be bigger? Absolutely. I really do. So let's go ahead and Control Z. And if it's just not Control Z with you, there it goes. But if it is not Control Z with you, you can always go over here to the history tab and click back to wherever you want it to go. You can do that. You can scroll up and it'll take you all the way back to when we first began anyways. But we want to redo that. So let's go ahead and do offset as internal line. Let's do 25 because I really want it. I want to see that. I want to see it. I want it to look good. Or the way I want it to look. Cut and sew. There we go. Could be a little bit better, but that's all right. Anyways, so we're done with these pants basically. Now, before you check out of this program, one thing I would always urge you to do, go ahead, go to simulation, go to UV editor, or where you see up here, drop down, go to UV editor. Fix this. Please fix it, because if you don't fix it, when you get into Blender and you're trying to work with the UV, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. So, just go ahead. I don't mind putting it. I really don't mind putting it together, but whatever. Just kind of fix this, y'all. It doesn't have to be perfect. It is not, but just do something with it, because if you don't, like I said, you're gonna get in Blender and all of this will be merged on top of each other and wrong. Always check this, okay? If you love yourself, and I'm sure you do, check this before you get into Blender, because if you do not, I keep saying the same thing. I think I keep saying the same thing, guys, because I have had this happen to me multiple times where I did not check and I'm in Blender just having my way. And then I realize I get to the UV editing portion of my, my blend, what I'm doing in Blender. And I'm like, oh, snot, y'all. And then I get to the UV, all the UV is stacked on top of each other, because what you've seen here today, it was actually pretty easy to unscramble. It's easy to unscramble Marvelous Designer. It is not easy to unscramble, virtually impossible to unscramble it if it's all on top of each other and stuff in the UV editor in Blender. So fix that and then save it again. Save project. Now, here is the part. What in the world is all that? Snapshot, texture bake. Oh, you can bake textures in here? Y'all, I didn't even know. I'm gonna have to work on that. Anyways, I always bake my textures in Blender. So let's go ahead and save this. Well, we saved it. Let's go ahead and just save it again. Look, we're trying to be safe than sorry. Just make sure you save as you go, because I've also done where I did not save as I went and I made an important change to the fabric, didn't save it, exported it, had to come back and just, yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and go to export. OBJ, which stands for object. Again, as I always say, I make adult content. Don't laugh at my stuff, y'all. Okay. So let's do Johnny pants. Okay, and save. Now, this is very important. Make sure you're on select all patterns. Unclick select all avatars. Single object. Unwilled. I remember on another video I said you could do willed. Don't do willed. Because if you do willed, exactly what's going to happen is if this and this are like, this and this are connected in 3D, even though they're not connected in 2D, if you try to unconnect it via the UV in Blender, it'll be messed up. So I always do unwilled. Do thin, unified UV coordinates, include internal shapes, meters. The default is millimeters. Those are not the same as meters. I know you knew that, but just always do meters, okay? And make sure this looks like this. Press OK. We have exported our mesh. So guys, next part we're going to get into Sims 4 Studio and then get into Blender. And I hope this is really helpful so far. Okay, y'all. So we are now in Sims 4 Studio. And the first thing, we need to do two things in the Sims 4 Studio right now. We need to export two things. One we need to export is going to be our nude bottom. And the other thing that we need to make sure that we export is going to be a reference. Something that kind of is like what we already have. Anyways, so we're going to go over here. If you haven't ever put your creator name, put your creator name. Go to Create 3D Mesh, Cast. This is how it's going to look when you first get in here. We don't need any of this. Go ahead and go to gender, female, age, adult, part type, bottom, and then you can first press nude. Click this. This is going to be your new bottom. Click it. Next, you're going to name this what you actually want your mesh or your creation to be. And this is going to be in my folder of all of my creations anyway. So I'm going to put Johnny Pants. There. You can call yours whatever you want to call it. Of course, that's what I'm going to call mine. So go to meshes. We don't need anything over here just yet. Go to meshes, lot 0. Make sure you're on lot 0. Export mesh. Go ahead over here. I need to put all of that somewhere for a moment, but export it as new bottom and then just let that export. Anyway, so that's been exported. And the next thing we need to do is find a reference. Go back to cast, just undo that, and you're at nude bottom, or not nude bottom, at bottoms. The pants that I normally use, let's see, I think I usually use these. Yeah, I usually use these pants. They just seem to fit well. They work out well with by weight transfers and everything for these type of pants. But I'm sure you could find something, whatever type of pants that you like made, find something that'll work for that. Let me go over here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick these. I picked the pink ones, so let's go next. This, it does not matter what you name it, so I'm just gonna default it to something I already had. And then export mesh in my Blender files. I'm gonna export this as ref3. You can name yours whatever you want, just remember what the name is, but I just named mine ref3. Now, the next part of this video is just going to be an insert from one of my old videos, which is going to show you how to move around in Blender. I don't feel like going through all that again today, so that'll be a portion from my previous video. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and get started actually creating our mesh in Blender. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when you first open up Blender. And this is Blender 2.79 that we're using to do this. Or if you use 2.76 or whatever, as long as it's not 2.70. I would suggest, like I said before, 2.76 or after. So we've opened that up. This is what you're going to see. You don't need any of this. So go over to File, Open, Nude Body. Now, once you've done that, to get rid of this, because you don't need this whatsoever, press N. Now, in my last video, I did a very in-depth how to move around in Blender. Do I want to do that in this video? Not really, but am I going to do it for you? Yes, I am. Because moving around in Blender, if you know how to do it, it makes it quite a lot easier, because in Blender, the controls are not quite the same as how they are in other 3D programs that I use. Anyway, so in order to get the UV portion open, you want to go ahead and press tab on your keyboard. If you don't want to press tab on your keyboard, you can go down here, you can go to edit mode. If you don't want to do that, you can go over here and you can press this triangle with the 3 points. Those are the 3 different ways you can get the UV to show up. Now, first I'm going to rename this. I'm going to rename this to nude. There. Now, I usually like to just press tab. It's quick and it's easy. First things first, when we get over here, you notice it's lit up here and it's not lit up here. We want them to both be lit up and make the changes at the same time. Press this right here, keep UV and edit mode mesh selection in sync. Once you press that, what happens on one side happens on both. Now, what was I pressing to get everything to highlight? I was pressing A. Pressing A is going to get everything to highlight at once. I'm going to try to go through these controls as quickly as possible. So A highlights and deselects. So if you have it highlighted and you want to get rid of the highlight, press A. If you want to choose a portion of the grid, press B. You'll get this. Hold down your left click and you see that's what's been chosen. Deselect, press A. Say you get a point and oh my God, I have this point here. You've done that by accident. Go ahead and press the right click. It'll put it right back where it's supposed to go. Or say you have actually just done that and you really do not mean to do that. What you need to press is Control Z. Now say you wanted to redo what you just undid, Control Shift Z, but we don't want to do that. One thing I'll say is you do not want to move the sim mesh body or the nude out of place. You want to leave everything where it is, and we'll have to delete some later, but we want to leave the parts that we're leaving in place. Anyways, so up next, if you want to select something by kind of like drawing it in, if you will, press C. To make this circle smaller, scroll inward on your mouse. That'll make it real small. If you want to make it bigger, scroll out on your mouse, and this is what we'll have. It's so big you can't see it anymore. Now, if you want to get rid of that, if you press C and you don't want to get rid of it, I can't get rid of it, press the right click on your mouse. Now, if we want to move something, Let's say we want to move this. We don't really want to, but we want to move this out of the box. Press G. G is for grab. We can, you know, move it around. Put it back, right click. So, say we want to make it bigger. I'm going to select, press S. Do we really want to do that? No, but just for future, it's good to know this. I will not go over these again. So just in case you don't know how to do this, if you do want to remember how to move around in Blender, I am going to timestamp each portion of this video so that you will know where to go. And if you need to refer back, I will refer back because I won't go over this again. But anyway, that's to size it up. S is to scale. Right click to put it back. If we want to scale only on the X axis, we're going to press SX. Only scale on the X axis. If we want to scale on the Y axis, SY. And again, to put it back, I'm just pressing the right click there. If we want to grab it, but only move it on the X axis, we're going to press GX. We want to grab it and only move it on the Y axis, we're going to press GY. And that's that. Now, zooming in is just using your middle scroller to zoom in and out. Moving around the plane, you're going to press inward on your middle scroller and just move it around. Over here is a little different. In the 3D editor, there's a way, this is like the default, and if you press 1 on your keyboard, it goes to the front perspective, as you see up here. It says front perspective. 2, well, let me get it out of whack. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. And that is just me pressing the numbers on my keyboard. The little side numbers to the right on your keyboard, that's what those do in the 3D editor. Now, zooming out is zooming out, zooming in is zooming in. If we want to rotate over here, we're going to click in, press in with our middle scrolling and just rotate. If you want to move around the plane, there. If you want to move around the plane over here, we're going to go ahead and press Shift and then use our middle scrolling to move around. Now, that's basically all of the ways that we can move things around in Blender. And like I said, this portion is specific to moving things around in Blender. Now, the next portion that we're going to do is actually starting to create our mesh. Okay guys, so now that you know how to move around in Blender, I went ahead and inserted that other clip of just how to move around in Blender. Now we can go ahead and get started with actually making our clothes. So we have opened up Blender 2.79. We want to get our nude body in here, our nude bottom rather. File, open, nude bottom. And the first thing we want to do is that. For now, this middle portion can kind of be closed. We don't really need it at this time. Okay. Now, we want to go ahead and get our mesh in here. Or first, let's rename this. Let's just double click on this right here. Double click on where it says Sims4 Studio or Studio Mesh and just type in nude. Now, go ahead and go to File, Import, Wavefont OBJ. And find your mesh, make sure you click object. So Johnny Pants MTL, Johnny Pants object, we want object. Oh my goodness, Lord, have mercy. Let me guess. One of the axes was messed up. Let's go back and see exactly what we did wrong. Okay, guys, I went ahead and fixed it. I don't know why it does that. I guess I just assumed it was how it should be because it usually is. But every now and then it defaults wrong. Anyways, I'm going to put in an insert. Make sure it says X, Y up, Z at the bottom where you're putting in your coordinates. Because otherwise you'll get what just happened. But anyways, I went back, fixed it, imported it, and this is what we have. So This is what our pants are looking like right now. And next thing we need to do, which is a very, very important thing, we need to go over to Johnny Pants, click on it. Go over here to this upside down triangle with these 3 points. You can put that down, but go to where it says UV maps. UV_0. Change the name just by double clicking on UV maps. UV_0, UV_1. And as we know, we need to make sure that our UVs here say the same thing as our EA UVs. Now that that is fixed, we can put that down. We can just leave it. Anyways, now we need to append our reference. So go to File, Append, whatever you saved it as. If it says Studio Mesh 1, if it says Studio Mesh 1, 2, 3, if it says Studio Mesh 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, click them all just by clicking and dragging all the ones you want. Press Enter. Where it says bone shape, we don't need that. We can go ahead and press Delete. Where it says rig.001, delete that. Where you see the Studio Mesh 1, 2, and 3, if you chose the same pants or whatever mesh you see, go ahead and click this Shift, click. In the empty space, put your mouse in the empty space here, Control J. And we can rename that Ref. Now, this is where we're going to start our tradition of saving. So I'm going to save this as J Pants. We're going to put import, IM for imported. Everything has been imported. And save that to a folder where you can remember where it is. Now, first thing we need to do is a data transfer between our reference and our Johnny Pants. So go to Johnny Pants or whatever you named yours. Go to this wrench, add modifier, data transfer. In this box with the block, put ref, click face corner data, nearest face interpolated, UVs, all layers, UV1, by name, UV1, nothing on the top. Nothing else needs to be done. All of this is automatic. Leave all of this alone. Apply. And what that did is made this happen. If you go to your Johnny Pants and you're on UV1 and you look like this, you have done it properly. If you get a tiny dot over here, or just like your UV0, but just in UV1, just floating up here, you have not done it correctly. So I will go back and try it again, but if you did it the way I did it, this is what you should get. Now go here on Johnny Pants, click UV0. Make sure it is out of the box, because what we're about to do next is you'll see delete portions of the nude or delete the entire nude, depending on what we need to do. Anyways, so make sure it's out of the box. Now we can hide our reference for a moment by clicking this eye, go to nude. Now what we need to check on is what part of our nude mesh can be seen without the pants being there. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can see that we want to not delete that. We can see that we want to not delete that. Meaning when we go over here, press A, maybe delete this. Let's see. Do we see orange? No. Let's even do this. No, we don't see that. So it would probably just be the top one or the top two. Oh, there we go. So it's the top one. Otherwise, if we can't see it, we can delete it. So that means we can go here in the empty space, press X on your keyboard, faces, and we just have this line. Don't forget and delete this line. Okay? Please don't. Now, we need to go ahead and combine our nude and our Johnny Pants. And to do that, we're going to go to Johnny Pants, shift on your keyboard, click the nude, in the empty space, Control J. There we go. And again, guys, remember, my allergies are really something else, so that's why I sound like this. Now, we have nude and ref left. Go ahead and go into edit mode. And remember, guys, edit mode, we can press this We could press tab, or we could just go down here and go to edit mode. 3 different ways you can get in edit mode. Anyways, we're in edit mode, and we have our pants. We need to select all, and we need to go to open. I'm going to leave this link in the description, how to get to this template, because you will need this. We need to fit this here in this part that says bottom. We don't want it in hair, hat, glasses, face, top, and shoes. We want it in bottom so that in the game it will not show up. You won't see pants in the person's hair or the face or whatever. And we need to fix that. So remember the directions that I showed you on how to move in Blender, because I won't really go over that again. But we need to, hold on. We don't want to move this EA part. This one little EA strip, don't move that. We don't want to move that. Just want to move this. Let's go ahead and move. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and just move those up. And I'm just going to connect these together. Or move them mostly close together. See, no, I don't want to do that. I think that's good enough, y'all. See, look, I keep on messing up. There. And again, this does not have to be super perfect. I'm just trying to get them closer together because no. This will make it easier when you're trying to bake your texture. It's just what I'm saying, basically. Why I'm trying to move them together. So I could have done weld, but no. No. And then we're gonna move this all. That looks better. Okay. Anyway, we're going to get on down the road now. Sorry that took so long. We do not want this interfering with this. So what are we going to do? We're going to move the whole thing down. And then we're going to go to... We're going to go to GUI. Try to line them up. Let's move them a little closer together. Okay, now let's go to SX so we can size it up. Let's go to GY. No, SY, excuse me. So we can try to. Okay, we need to size that down a little. Okay, I think we got it. And what I like to save this as is file save as UV. There. So now we have the UV mapped. Now we need to go ahead and transfer the weights. So actually, make sure you can see the reference and then save it again. Go ahead and open up Blender 2.70, and that will be the next part of this video. Okay, so we're in Blender 2.70, and as I always say, you'll know that you're there if your background is kind of like a more ashy gray looking thing. Anyways, File, Open, go to the one you just saved. Now, there's one thing we need to do before we transfer the weights, and I just like to do this for my own sanity because sometimes if I don't later on, it causes me problems. Go ahead, select all, press this X. We don't need that anymore. Now, go over here and go to Weight Paint. Click on Ref first, then Shift click on Nude. You have to do that. Go over here, click Transfer Weights. Now you can delete the reference, you don't need it. If you see these rainbow colors and this blue like this, you've done it correctly. To check and make sure though, you can go over here. This upside down triangle, go to Vertex Groups, and just make sure. Save as WP for weight paint. We're almost done. Not that one yet. We need to go over here, back into Blender 2.79, and open the weight paint one that we just saved. Go into object mode. Make sure. Yeah, everything looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and go into Vertex Paint. We need to go to Vertex Paint. When we get in Vertex Paint, we need to go over to this white bar, click in it, left click, go to Hex, type OOFFOO, enter. Paint. And then push, set vertex colors. And actually, if we were in solid mode, we'd have seen the change, but it doesn't really matter. Whether you did it in solid mode, object mode, any of these modes. If you did it the way I just did it, you'll be fine. And I'm going to go to File, Save As, VP for Vertex Paint. Now, we're going to go ahead and we can actually exit out of that. We can exit out of that for now. Go in Sims4 Studio to the one where you had your nude bottom, lot 0, import mesh, VP, and we're going to wait for that to import. That might take a little while, might not, but once that imports, I'm going to show you how to do the LODs. So we're going to let that import, then I'll show you how to do LODs, then we'll move on. Okay, y'all, so our pants have finished importing. And this is what it looks like. Now, you might say this looks weird as hell. I thought our pants were pink. They were. Or they still can be. We need to put a texture on this. That's why this looks like this. The only texture it has is the Sims body. And we'll fix that in a moment. But the first thing we're going to do is the LODs. So our level of detail 0 is 15,054. 15,054. That's how many polygons are on this mesh at this point in time. That's really not that bad. But we're going to lower it. Now, if you just, there's a proper way to do this. And then there's this is the way I'm going to do this today, way to do this. And we're going to do it the second way. So, we are going to go back into Blender where our Vertex Paint save was. Go to object mode, make sure you're on nude. Go over here to add modifier. Add modifier, decimate. Now we're gonna go down and we don't want it to look too crazy, but the levels of detail just means that when you zoom out in the Sims, your mesh does not disappear. So that's good enough for LOD 2. We're going to go ahead and save as 2. File, open recent. Oh, I'm going to say that it's LOD 1. Anyway, that's supposed to be LOD 1, y'all. Let's go ahead and just import it. That was supposed to be LOD 1. Anyways, going back, LOD 2. We just opened it, so we're going to go ahead and add modifier, decimate, pull it down some more. I'm going to put that about 6,000 something other. Apply. File. And make sure the other one is imported. Not quite. Since we messed up on that, let's just go ahead and put file 2-A. And if you didn't mess up, then you don't have to do that. But if you did mess up, just do that. We just need a new name. File, open recent, file 2-A, decimate again. I'm going to get it to about 3,000. A little more, a little less is fine. File, save as, LOD. We can delete that 2-A and put 3. Go back here. Now on LOD 2, remember we'll do LOD 2-A. And then on LOD 3, we'll do LOD 3. And that is how you do LODs for pants. Like I said, there's a proper way, and I might leave a link in the description to a tutorial where it shows you the long way to do it, the proper way. But no. Anyways, the way I just did it will work just fine as well. It will get rid of some of the detail, but the thing is, the most detail is on LOD 0 anyway, which is the one you're going to be looking at most of the time as it is. So, next thing I will show you how to do is how to go ahead and add a proper texture to your pants. Okay guys, so the next part of this tutorial, we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you, how to put a texture on your pants, or how to basically make it not look like that. So go back to your blend file where you saved it as the Vertex paint. We don't need to flip the normals for this, honestly. There's nothing, I don't think we do. Anyways, don't worry about that. Go back here. Go into edit mode. Delete this part. That little one strip of EA mesh that you had, delete that. You don't need it. Now go over here to where it says rig. Unclick all of that. Everything out. Unclick all the cameras, all the eyes, all of that. Unclick the camera off of rig. Go to lamp and put all of the eyes and the arrows on lamp. We're going to start off in 2.79 and we're going to end up in 2.80. Now remember the last one I said, oh no, you know, I prefer to use 2.79 because 2.78, I can't get it to do what I want. Yeah, anyway, I said that, but then after that video, like a month later, I figured out what I was doing wrong. And so I actually do prefer to use 2.80, but we're going to start in 2.79 because we just need to make this first. So we've done that. Now we see all the lamps and everything. We're going to go into rendered mode. And as you see, the pants are very light because of the lamps and everything. We're going to kind of go out. And now here's the important part over here. We're going to go here, press A. No, not open. Press A right here, press new, 1024, 2048. Or if you're trying to do HQ, you could do 2048, 4096. But right now we're going to just do 1024, 2048. And then press A, tab, make sure it stays. Good. I'm just going to go back to tab. Now you can go over here to this part, this ball with the checkered area, checkered looking thing. Undo, diffuse map. And then go over here where you can change the color up a little. Let's bring down the intensity. There. And let's go here to this camera. I do 2. You could do anywhere between 0 and 4 or 5. That still looks good, but I like 2. Go here where it says ambient occlusion and do full render. Then press, well, before you do that, go to dimensions, up to 100%. Where it says dimension resolution 100%, and then bake. And that shouldn't take very long at all. And there. Look at that, guys. Do you see it? We need to save image as, and then I just save it as JPEGs 1. Go over here. Now, where it says texture, on the texture tab, go to texture, all of this, import, wherever you just saved that. JPants. There we go. Don't worry about that. We can kind of fix that later on. But here is the gist of what I was saying. Now that I have showed you that, I'm going to go ahead and show you a few different ways we can apply a texture to these pants. And that will be the end of the video. I'll show you what it looks like, and that'll be it. So, let's continue. We did that in Blender 2.7. Let's go ahead and file save as. Make sure you don't save it as VP because you might need that again. Save it as bake. There. Now, we can go over here. We can actually exit out of that at this point because now we're going to go into Blender 2.80. File, open, JPants bake. I used to like to go into the shading tab to do this. I think you have to append your pants to do that. We don't even have to do all that anymore, guys, honestly. Now that we're in 2.80, this looks a little different. Actually, real quick, let's just go back to 2.79 and do something real quick. Over recent, JPants bake, cycles render. Let's go ahead and make sure the dimensions are 100%. Go to sampling, put 200, go to preview, and this is under the camera tab, y'all, and go to 65. Bake, 2, combine, all that. Okay. And then go to rendered mode. Now we can save it as bake. And now we can go into 2.80. There, that, I don't know why, that's gonna help us out quite a bit. Now, this bottom part, put the arrow between here and here and scroll up on that. Go over here, press shift and the middle scrolly to kind of move the pants around so we can have a better view. Push this back. Go into rendered mode, which is right here. And then go into object mode, or you can go into, yeah, object mode is fine. Object mode. And just in case you're like me and you did not know where Blender 2.8's dimensions area was, you go here, here, and then there it is. And then here's all the bake part. We've already done that. Anyway, we're going to need that in a second. But here's where we can have our fun at. Let's go to here and click Use Nodes. Use Nodes. Go over here and find where it says Node Editor. Where are you at, Node Editor? Oh my goodness. You should have probably already went in Node Editor because I usually already go in Node Editor. But it'll be fine. I'll find it. It's probably right in my face. And we'll be fine. Node Editor, Node Editor. Give me a moment, y'all. Okay, y'all. So I we got the node editor up. Anyways, I found out how to use the freaking node editor in here. I didn't figure it out. I just went back to 2.79, put node editor, saved it, and then reopened it. So now that we have our nodes here, let me just kind of show you how to use nodes. First things first, if you're going to use nodes to do this, which is my favorite thing to use, I'll also show you one other easy way how to do it. I'm not going to spend too much time in editing the texture in this as I have in my previous videos, but I do just want you to kind of see how I do it or how you can do it. So now we're in 2.80 doing the nodes. Now the reason why I really prefer 2.80 versus 2.70 is because I can just do this. Click on this light, and if I want to duplicate objects, I can put this line somewhere. How about we put this? Let's just put it there. No, I don't really like it there. Let's put Control Z. Duplicate. Here. Duplicate. You know what? Duplicate and then here. You're going to see why that's going to be so helpful for us in just a moment. Let's go back to Nude. Press Shift and A. First thing you want to do is go to Texture, Image Texture. Find the image where you just saved your bake earlier, which was JPants for me. Then go to Shift A, Shader. Let's just go to Diffuse for now. Diffuse, this is kind of like an input-output thing, kind of like how you might have learned in school. So we're going to connect this green dot to this, and you see that it turns white. Okay, well, we can just start making colors now, honestly. I kind of like how that looks. Let's go over here, and since we're in cycles mode, instead of Blender render, it's going to take a little longer because we can control the render in the viewport. So it's going to take a little longer to render than normal, but that is perfectly fine. Let's go over here. Let's go down to bake. Everything's the way it should be. Bake. And you'll see down here it's taking, a decent amount longer than it did before. But once it bakes, we'll import it into Sims 4 Studio. Oh, there it goes. It didn't take too long. Image. Save as. Honestly, I'll just resave that as JPants. I'll overwrite it. Go here, add swatch, import. And there we have JPants. Now to change the color of this, we're gonna go here, right click in it. You'll get a dropper, left click, same as here, right click, go here and left click. And make sure we save it. Now that is how to do easy texturing with Blender 2.80. In the next part, I'll show you how to get a little bit more in depth and do some better texturing. Okay, so we are back in Blender 2.80. It's actually been like an hour or so since I actually recorded the last part because my allergies got the best of me. But anyways, let's hope they don't continue. So, like I said, we're in Blender 2.80. We're going to go ahead and start. We're going to basically, I'm just going to show you how to do like a more detailed like texturing in Blender 2.80. So let's go ahead and start on that now. So let's go back to Nude. I was just playing around with the lamps, Anyway, so what we're gonna go ahead and do, and what I think I want to do, is put some more lamps over here. You don't have to do this. This is not necessary. There's a certain look I'm going for. That didn't work. Okay. Anyways, y'all can discard that part of me just playing with lamps. I just wanted a certain look with the color. Now, let's go back to nude. Now, there is diffuse, BSDF. That's what we use to give it that pink color. But say we want to add some sort of different look to it. Let's press Shift A. Let's go to shader. Let's go to mix shader and just plop it right here on this line. And did you see that change? I'm sure you did. And then let's go to Shift A, shader. Let's do this tune shader. Let's pop it here. Grab this green dot, click and drag it right there. And look what happens. Now, do we want that like that? Absolutely not. So let's change the color on that. But do you see the effect that we're getting? And we can change the size of that. We can basically make it take over the whole thing. We can not have it at all. I think this is pretty good. Let's see what it looks like at the back. That kind of gives it that highlight of a thing going on. How else would we want that to be? Let's just put it there. And let's see. It works better. The lighter, the better. I'm seeing this. So I like that. Let's go over here. And press bake. And then even though it looks quite similar, once I import it into the Sims 4 Studio, then we'll be able to actually see what what the major difference is, or what the difference is between the two, even though they look similar. So let's go ahead, and I already see the difference. Save as. Let's just overwrite JPants. Let's go over here, add a swatch, import JPants. And you see that difference? This one has more of like a light, like a contrast and brightness, height, and depth thing going on to me. I like these better actually than these, but we'll leave them both. And we'll just put that color on there. There. This part is important. What I'm about to show you. Doing your categories. Let's go ahead and let's just save this. There. So doing your categories basically means what categories it'll show up in under the game. And I'm just doing all the colors right now. I'm applying to all swatches. I want this for adults, elder, teen, and young adult. I'm going to put apply to all swatches. Feminine, apply to all swatches. Athletic party, I'm basically going to put it on everything except for nude. Apply to all swatches, yes, okay. And then the rest of that, I mean, I really don't. You know, let's see, leggings, jeans, pants. And then go back to texture, go to your first swatch. And what I always do, I just import a random, or not random, but I import this every time. When I'm just testing it out and I'm going back and forth in the game, I just put it like this, put the catalog thumbnail as the word test. That way, that is so easy to find, a big golden word test when you're scrolling through your game. And so we'll save that again. Anyway, that was just quick, real quick. Now let's go back in here. Let's get real creative. You can, if you want to, completely remove the mix shader, take tune BDSF or BSDF rather, and put it right there. Now, this is what you start to look like. Not that I really am going for this look, but you can do this. So let's say I went ahead and got shader, glass. Let's say I got glass. Oh, no. Let's say I got glossy. So we have glossy. We can put it with the mix shader and connect the mix shader to the material output. And look at that, y'all. I very much like that. So I'm going to bake it. I'm mostly just going to keep this pink because this is just so easy to show you, like the different pinks and then, you know, the different effects that we have. So this is, and then that's how it looks. So image, save as image, just overwrite JPants, go back into Sims 4 Studio, add a swatch, import, go back to DDS files and find it. This is what that looks like. Very highlighted. Now say we don't like that. So some of you may not like that at all. Or you say, that's just too much gloss for me. Too much gloss. I get it. You can change the gloss effect. Oh, I really like that. Yeah, you can change the gloss effect. You can do a lot of things. Say we leave it there. You can go over here to this mix shader and change the factors. So if you want less gloss, you can go this way. If you want complete gloss, you can go this way. So you want more gloss, you want less gloss. That's less gloss. Let's go ahead and bake that and see what we get. And then once I finish showing you how to play with these nodes, which I'm basically done with once I finish this one, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to append a texture, a pre-made texture into this blend file. And then that way you can go ahead and add that in. And I'll show you how to do that from there. So let me just, okay, go back to Sims 4 Studio. There we go. And there you go. It still has that kind of glossy look to it. And I kind of like that. I like that quite a bit. But not quite as much as that. And honestly, I'm just going to like maybe make it just a little bit darker. There. That's fine. I don't care. They're all pink. So, and these are all different. They're all pink, but they're all different ways that we've made, you know, how we made the pants look. Now, next, let's go ahead and show you how to append a texture. First of all, let's click out of that for now. First of all, we can click out of that too. The way that I download my Blender, like my pre-made textures, and I'll just type in, like the website I usually use is Blender Mata, but there's this other thing, and I'll put a link in the description box to that particular video. There's a video I found where you can basically, like, there's like 800 and something free different textures that you can import into your game, and I'll link a video to how to do that. But let's just say you just Google Blender textures. You want to go to Google and you want to start searching like Blender materials, or the website I use is Blender Mata. So let's search that. Then you go to the website, browse materials, and then there's all these materials. So let's say, I think I have all of these or most of these. Let's say gold. We want gold. That look good. I want to see some gold pants. I do too, girl or boy or whoever you are. You can go ahead and click on gold, download. Now, since I already have gold, I don't have to. But download that. Go up in Blender. Wherever you save that download of that gold, go to append. And mine is in my desktop. Blender fabrics. And then wherever you saved it, find it. It's in here somewhere. Y'all give me a moment because I have not been up in here and used these in a while. I have a few different ones and I have some in another folder. So this is what I'm going to do. Download. Oh, it's one. Okay, one gold. Do I not have one? Wow, I didn't have this. I thought I had it. I have other golds, I guess. But let me just cut. Desktop. I'm sure I have this somewhere. Gold one. Okay. Anyway, back to Blender. So, go to File, Append, find it, click on it, go to Material, double click that, go back to File, Append, go out of that, go to Node Tree, double click that. How do you get to it? Because you might think, oh, my pants didn't turn gold. What happened? I did it wrong. No, you didn't. Go to this right here. Go over here and go to gold. And girl, there you go, some gold pants. And just kind of scroll out and you'll be able to find the thing, the node tree to control it. You can even change that, y'all. I ain't never even did that before. Anyway, so you can kind of fix this up how you want to, but I'm just going to go ahead and bake it just the way it is. So let's go back, press bake. Oh, I forgot. Go ahead and press Shift A. Go to texture, image texture. You always have to do that. Every time you append a new fabric or a new material, you always have to do that. And then find the picture. Find your picture. Make sure you're on nude. Okay, then you can go ahead and bake. This might take a little while since this is a pretty, like, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see it in just a few moments here. So once that's finished, we're going to save that. And that's basically how you texture. Oh, there it goes. Got a little bit of something going on there. That can be fixed by playing with this and playing with this. You can easily fix that. So don't worry. I don't really mind because it's between the legs anyway. So let's go to Save As, JPants again. Go over here, Add Swatch, Import. Oh my goodness, I have imported the wrong ones. There we go. And girl, there you go, use some golden pants. Really, it's that easy to do. Now, you can go in here and you can play with it. You can change the color completely if you want to. You know, it's so many different things you can do in here. Oh, that looks really cute. Anyway, you can play with this all day and night if you want to. Get as many swatches as you want to. I don't think there's a limit, or if there is, I've never ran into it because I usually only go up to a certain amount of swatches. Anyway, play with that how you want. The next way I'm going to show you how to texture pants is in the 2D editing software. And then I'll probably show you how to do the bump map, and then we'll be done. Okay, so we are going, well, now I'm going to show you how to add a texture in a 2D software or a 2D editing software. So as you can see, I have like really golden pants now, and that's because I just kind of tweaked some of the settings. Like I said, you can sit there and tweak the settings and play with that all day if you felt like it. But I want to try to keep this tutorial as short as possible. I really do. But next we're going to go ahead and let's go back into Blender for a moment. What I usually like to do, and you do not have to do this, but what I usually like to do is just get a plain texture of some sort. Like, just take all that off and just get you something. I usually say go for something like around this color or something. Yeah, something around this color. Some orangey browny color. Something, you know, that's not too crazy. And I'll bake that and save that. And then I will import that into my 2D software so that I can add the texture on there. I was trying to keep it pink, but like I said, I was just showing y'all an example of how to append those other materials and things. So let's save. And let's go here and make sure. Yeah, okay. So now, like I said in my previous videos, I usually just show paint.net because it's really the easiest one to use. So let's go to File, Open, DDS Files. And these are not DDS files. That's just the name of my folder. Keep that in mind. You can do a DDS file. I'll tell you when you have to do a DDS file, which you have to do for the bump map, but I'll show you that. Anyway, this right here is what we have for the pants. Now, let's go ahead and go to File, Open. Let's open up some sort of texture that we think we like. So if we like, honestly, you could get this pair of pants right here, and if you felt like it and you had the time, cut this pair of pants out and lay it over the top of this. I'm not about to do that because that can get really tricky sometimes. But what I am gonna do is just let's see here. Let's go ahead. Let's get this right here. I like this. Now, in order to make this go onto here, and look as good as you possibly can make it look. I usually do, I used to not do it, but now I've started to do the HQ texture. So I do resize 2048, 4096. It doesn't look like it changed, but it did. If you do this in GIMP or in Photoshop, it'll actually look like it changed. But we don't have to do that in there. We can do it right here because this is the easiest one to work with. So we're just going to go over here and grab it. Just click with this arrow, click on it, grab it, copy, go over here, add a layer. And if your layers are missing, press this button. They'll come up. Paste the layer. And from here, you can just kind of work out your own thing. You know, I think I just want to just... There we go. Now, here's the one thing. If you're going to texture it like this, you remember when we put the two bottom parts together and the two top parts, or the top part over here together with the rest of the pants? It's going to be hard to distinguish. You could probably do it with the bottom, but maybe not the top. But just to show you how to do it, I'm going to do the whole thing. Sit that there, copy, paste again, put it over here. And if it's a little more stretched out on this side, don't have no fear. Stretch it out. Go ahead, do it. Take this right here and just click somewhere in the background to deselect. Get this magic wand and click empty space, background, empty space. You'll start to see floating. I should have probably brought that over some more. Click on layer 2 and press delete on your keyboard, and there you have it. Merge down, save. Go into Sims4 Studio where you've already added a swatch, or you can add a swatch, and go ahead and there you, I like that. That's cute. That is cute. Anyways, there you go. Pants. This kind of, whatever this is called is escaping me right now, but plaid. Anyway, this right here, this is what we look like. And I like that quite a bit. This reminds me of some, like, Avril Lavigne or whatever her name is. Anyway, yeah, I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of make that color, make that color, and make this yellow color, or whatever. So save. And we have done basically putting a color on in a 2D software. Say you just, you know, you've baked it and you like how this looks and you just want to change the color. You don't want to change anything else about it. Go back, save that. If you're in paint.net and you want to change the color, go to adjustments, hue and saturation. Like that. And then you can just save that and then import it. And that's how you just change the color if that's all you want to do and you're tired of the baking process and whatnot in Blender, which I get. I do the same thing sometimes. So now that I've showed you how to do that, I'm going to show you how to create a bump map. For that, if you don't have to even create a bump map. That just adds more detail to it sometimes. I'm going to go back and save that kind of plain color we had. You need this program in Job. The way that I do it, it is so easy to do, but you need this program. First thing you want to do, and I usually like to open up GIMP and do it like this. So open your pants or find your pants wherever they may be, and then open with GIMP. I don't know if this works on Mac or not, but this is what I do. Now I have GIMP open. I have them open with GIMP. Now I'm going to go to File, New. And this is back down to the 1024, 2048, just in case you didn't know. Or I think 2048, 4096 is fine. But anyways, we're going to go to New, and it's already there, 1024, 2048. Go to OK. Click it in this window and just drag it down and drag it up into this. You need to do this. Anyway, so now you have your white background. And actually, before we go into Photoshop, there's something very important that I did not do. We need to go to Image, and we need to go to Canvas Size. We need to go to percent, and on height, we need to go to 50%. And then right here, you need to slide that up. Then resize. There we go. Now you need to export it. There we go. That's important. I forgot to mention that. Now go open InJob, which I think I closed because I was failing all over the place. File, open. There we go. It should look like this. Don't worry if it like, is it that smaller? It's supposed to be this small. Anyway, now you need to go to filter, diffuse map, height map. And fix this until it doesn't look like this anymore. Kind of just watch what I'm doing and then try to do that. Not quite. You don't want to do that. No. There we go. Okay, I like that. It's not too dark, it's not too light, it's not too blurry. It's not too sharp. So then we go to filter, height map, normal map. And this is where you really need to, like, you know, don't have all this going on. Does that look weird? But a little bit of that is fine. If you need to do the blur radius up some so you can do that some more, that's fine. Leave it on traditional because the rest of these usually look weird. I like that. That looks crisp to me. And press OK. Now go ahead, file, save as, bump. That's fine. Bump files. Bump. Oh, I am all over the place, guys. Bump 17. That's fine. Save that. Now you need to go into Photoshop. Go into Photoshop. Open that up. Open. There it goes. Now, you need to be in your Channels tab. Layers tab, no. Paths tab, no. Channels tab. First, you need to go to the red. Just click on the red. Undo everything else. Get this tool here. Select everything until you see this moving around the edge. Control C. Go to your alpha layer. Control V. Now you need to go to green. On green, I'm gonna press Control C. Go to red, Control V. Go to blue, Control V. Now you might be able to actually do that differently. You might be able to put red on green and then green on alpha, but that's the way that I learned how to do it. That's the way I do it, and it usually turns out right. So now put all the eyes on here and it should turn red. It should look like this. That looks good. File. And this is where you save as a DDS. I don't know. You might probably be able to save as a PNG, but sometimes it messes up for me. So save as. And make sure you have the NVIDIA DDS plugin. And there's also videos on YouTube showing how to download that. Yeah, bump 17. That's fine. Save. Go over here. Go to this BC3. Not BC3 in, BC3. And then save. Click out of that. And unless you want to use Photoshop for something else, you can honestly get out of that too. I'm just not really a Photoshop fan. Anyways, get back into here. Go to normal. Import. Put DDS. Bump 17. There you go. And so, looks like I am done. I think I have showed you guys how to, I showed you how to do Marvelous Designer. I showed you how to make the thing in Blender. I showed you how to texture in Blender. I showed you how to texture in Paint.net. How to make the bump map between GIMP, InJob, and Photoshop. So yeah, I think we're done, guys. We have officially arrived. So these are our pants. I really do hope that this video was helpful. I know the other videos I posted, I've been getting a lot of, comments and things like that, or not a lot, but for me a lot, comments saying how helpful it was and everything. And I'm really thankful that I could be helpful to you guys. A lot of times I notice that, how-to videos for how to do certain things in The Sims are very guarded, and that's something I've always hate it to my core because I don't know. I don't like that. But either way, I really do hope, like I said, that this was helpful to you. And I hope that you learned something. I hope you can now make pants freely and you can just take the information I gave you as kind of, the stepping stones to what you eventually need to, do to make pants and be successful. Because as you can see, I'm not really that great. These aren't even that great. But you know what? I'm going to help somebody out though. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like the video if it was helpful. Like the video if you liked it and share it if you want to. And I will see you guys later and have a good one.